The Rise and Legacy of Africa's Great Kingdoms, a story written in gold, stone, and memory. Long before the world learned to draw Africa as a margin on its maps, the continent stood at the center of human civilization. Rivers carried not only water but wisdom. Forest paths echoed with diplomacy and trade. Cities rose, not by accident, but by vision, governance, belief, and ingenuity. This is the story of Africa's great kingdoms, told not as dry dates alone, but as a living journey through power, culture, and legacy that still shapes the modern world. Before we dive into the main story, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification button for more interesting video like this. 1. Ancient Egypt, the kingdom that taught the world to remember. At the banks of the Nile, where the desert bowed to water, ancient Egypt rose around 3100 BCE under the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt by King Narmer, Menes. Egypt was not merely a kingdom, it was a philosophy of life. The Egyptians believed in Ma'at, truth, balance, and order. This belief shaped their governance, architecture, science, and morality. Pharaohs such as Khufu, Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II ruled not as kings alone but as divine custodians of cosmic balance. Significance and global impact. Writing and record-keeping, the invention of hieroglyphics influenced later writing systems and preserved human history. Science and medicine, Egyptian doctors performed surgeries, understood anatomy, and wrote medical texts still studied today. Architecture, the pyramids of Giza remain among the greatest engineering achievements in human history. Governance and law, Egypt's centralized administration influenced later empires in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Egypt shaped Greek philosophy, Roman governance, and modern science, yet for centuries, the world forgot that Egypt was African. 2. The Kingdom of Ghana, Wagadu, the empire built on gold and order. Far west of the Nile, between the 6th and 13th centuries CE, rose the Kingdom of Ghana, known by its people as Wagadu. Its kings, titled Ghana, ruled with authority rooted in law, ritual, and wealth. The kingdom did not mine gold, it controlled it. Ghana dominated the trans-Saharan trade routes, exchanging gold for salt, cloth, and knowledge. Notable figures and events. Tunja Mainan, a powerful ruler described by Arab scholars. Capital cities like Kumbhi, a dual city of African spirituality and Islamic scholarship. Significance and global impact. Economic model, Ghana demonstrated how taxation and trade could build a stable empire. Diplomacy, the empire practiced religious tolerance between traditional African beliefs and Islam. Global trade, Ghana's gold-fueled economies as far as North Africa and Europe. When Ghana declined due to environmental strain and invasions, its ideas did not die, they migrated. 3. The Mali Empire, where wealth met wisdom. From Ghana's ashes rose the Mali Empire in the 13th century under Sundiata Keita, the Lion King of Mali. Sundiata unified the Mande people and established a constitution, the Kurukan Fuga Charter, one of the world's earliest human rights documents. Mali reached its peak under Musa, whose 1324 pilgrimage to Mecca reshaped global economics. His generosity in gold caused inflation across the Mediterranean. Centers of knowledge. Timbuktu, Gao, and Jen became world-renowned centers of learning. Libraries housed thousands of manuscripts on astronomy, law, mathematics, and philosophy. Significance and global impact. Education, Timbuktu rivaled European universities centuries before colonialism. Global awareness, Mali appeared on European maps due to its influence. Cultural legacy, oral historians, griots, preserved history with precision. Mali proved that Africa was not only rich, but intellectually sovereign. 4. Great Zimbabwe, the stone city that defied time. In southern Africa, between the 11th and 15th centuries, rose Great Zimbabwe, a city of stone without mortar. Built by the Shona people, its walls stood as symbols of organization, trade, and spiritual power. Significance and global impact. Engineering, massive stone structures like the Great Enclosure stunned early Europeans. Trade, Gold and ivory from Zimbabwe reached China and the Middle East via the Indian Ocean. Cultural identity: the Zimbabwe bird remains a national symbol today. For centuries, colonial scholars denied Africans built Great Zimbabwe until evidence spoke louder than prejudice. 5. The Oyo Empire, masters of cavalry and governance. In what is now southwestern Nigeria, the Oyo Empire rose between the 14th and 18th centuries. Founded by the Yoruba, Oyo combined military strength with political sophistication. Governance and power. The Alafin ruled, but power was balanced by the Oyo Messi Council. The feared Eso Ikoyi cavalry protected and expanded the empire. Significance and global impact. Checks and balances: Oyo practiced constitutional governance long before modern democracies. Military innovation: cavalry dominance shaped West African warfare. Cultural spread: Yoruba traditions traveled to the Americas through the diaspora. Oyo showed that African states mastered both force and restraint. 6. Great Benin, the kingdom that spoke in bronze. South of Oyo flourished the Benin Kingdom, ruled by the Oba. Benin reached its height between the 13th and 19th centuries. Artistic and political brilliance. The Benin Bronzes, crafted with precision, documented history, rituals, and leadership. Kings like Oba were the Great expanded Benin's influence. Significance and global impact. Art history: Benin Bronzes redefined global understanding of African art. Urban planning: Benin City had streets and walls admired by Europeans. Historical justice: modern repatriation of bronzes reshapes global museum ethics. Benin proved art could be power, and memory could resist erasure. 7. Ile Ife, the sacred cradle of creation. Before Oyo and Benin, there was Ile Ife, the spiritual heart of the Yoruba world. According to tradition, Oduduwa descended here to create the earth. Significance and global impact. Spiritual philosophy: Ife shaped Yoruba cosmology and ethics. Artistic realism: bronze and terracotta heads displayed unmatched naturalism. Cultural continuity: Yoruba identity across Africa and the diaspora traces back to Ife. Ife taught that power begins with meaning. These kingdoms did not vanish, they transformed. Their ideas crossed oceans in the minds of enslaved Africans. Their art resurfaced in museums. Their governance echoes in modern constitutions. Their cities whisper beneath modern streets. And yet, the greatest chapter may still be unwritten. As Africa reclaims its history, repatriates its artifacts, and redefines its future, one question lingers like a drumbeat beneath the soil. What happens when a civilization finally remembers who it has always been? The answer is rising, once again. Want more stories like this? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our story, because this is just getting started.